So that's a good aspect of that. And countries like Kenya and Uganda and Rwanda and Sudan, we are unable to stand up to Egypt and tell them, look, guys, Egypt, I mean, River Nile is for all of us. It's not for you only. Now that tension between Ethiopia and Egypt has necessitated Egypt to instigate a war between Ethiopia and Somalia, and they are supporting Somalia, and the support they're giving to Somalia includes even the upcoming AUC chairmanship. They are going to work with the Ethiopia to do that. So Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, all of the Islamic speaking African countries are not going to vote for Raila. That is given, and they're a big bloc. That is one. And then two, when you look at the Anglophone and the Francophone West Africa, the Anglophone that we have with us is probably Nigeria and Ghana. They might support Raila. The Francophone West Africa, right? They have a Francophone guy also standing, who is running against Raila, right? Then when you come down to SADC, South African, they had already declared that they are going to go the way of the guy from Djibouti, and this was mentioned. This was announced by South African president himself. So if you look at those numbers, what is the path for Raila to get to the AU chairmanship? It's not going to be very easy. Mzalendo, you are on mute.
You are on mute. Zarendo.
Yeah, when you look at what you just said, countries like Liberia, those are Anglophone countries, and
yes,
who are they likely to? And Sierra Leone, Zambia. I don't know about Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe maybe may support Raila.
Zimbabwe, Botswana, Malawi, South Africa, Namibia, Mozambique. Those are SADC, South African Development Corporation. They're like our EAC. But SADC itself declared. The current chair of SADC is Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa is the one who announced that SADC as a bloc is going to vote for the Djibouti guy.
So South Africa has also pronounced that they are going to vote for the Djibouti guy.
Exactly,
and it's not their decision.
Now, Jeremy, I agree with you. That take it in the head.
It's a decision of SADC, not a decision of South Africa as a country. A decision of SADC as a bloc.
Decided that. Then why are we wasting money on Raila Odinga campaigning for this seat? And the numbers are there in SADC already.
Maybe Ruto is going to count these votes.
What?
Ruto is going to count these votes.
We have got only one vote. Dominic, we have got only one vote.
We only have one vote.
We only one vote as a country. People think that there are many votes. It is only one president voting. Only one.
My friends, I had last time, wakisema Ruto ako under hiyo body erections, maybe it's going to rig.
There you can't rig one. There you cannot rig.
Anyway, sometimes we drift to other things that are also important to our country, and especially this election. Now we have learned something so new, it's something that Jeremy, you have brought. You sit down in that group with all this knowledge instead of telling Kenyans what things are and the way things. We have learned now a lot about.
You see, in that group, people make noise. But this is a very interesting and very intimate discussion. We are talking, and I can see you, and you can see me. And unauliza najibu, nauliza unajibu, which is the way to go.
Yeah. There is a market. Everybody comes with their own stories about things. Now there's another important issue that I really want you to weigh in and give me your thought. The electoral board in Kenya has decided that they are no longer going to transmit elections live the way they used to do. Why are we still crumbling with the issue of elections in Kenya? Is it, here in the US, elections were done by 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
I was supporting Kamala Harris. I had seen the results up to 9 p.m. And I am telling you, I was running scared because by 9 p.m., there were all indications from all the media outlets that this guy, that Trump is going to win. So somebody was telling me, oh, please, Harris came out, started saying that we are going to have a long night. But we started seeing the shift. We didn't need an electoral board to come and tell us, hey, Nani has won this. Can you imagine? It's the media that were calling out that, hey, Trump is winning in Georgia. Trump is winning in Pennsylvania and all that. Now in Kenya, such a simple thing like an election with a population of 40 million people, they cannot conduct. They need to do how many IBC members, to do how many commissioners, and then the results are taken again to Bomas. I like what him.The said, and we read on the same page. Elections are done at a polling station. The results are announced. If you can know that your MC has won in this polling station and your president has also won in that polling station, that is the result.
Exactly.
Why is it being transported to Bomas for somebody to announce it at Bomas? Yet we have got agents, countrywide who can announce these results. So we are being lied to by the political parties. They want a way also to benefit and rig the elections or to create positions for their supporters. That's how I look at it, because it's a whole scheme of the political cabal to keep us on this suspense and on the election mode, so that we don't elect people of our choices in these elections. That's how I look at it. The political class, they don't want us to elect people of our people that we want in these positions. So they would rather use that window. In my county where I come from, to announce that an MC has won or an MP has won, these results have to be taken to Homa Bay town. They have to be transported to Homa Bay town to make the announcement. What stupidity is this?
And it takes 2 days to 3 days to announce.
Nyuma sana Kenya.
Hii ni ujinga tu, lazima tuisimamishe. Hakuna tiati tuko nyuma. Hii ni ujinga, lazima tusimamishe in order to have integrity in the election. It is so simple. The media houses, the mainstream media houses have got the capacity to have every reporter in every other polling station or every other constituency in Kenya.
But you see, Msarendo, here in Kenya, these politicians huwa wanakuanga na kila mtu wako na TV yake, so they don't trust these stations. Unasikia mtu anasema hii ni ya Azimio, hii ni ya UDA. You see, hata mtu
hata huku iko hivyo. But when it comes to the results, hakuna results ya UDA na hakuna results ya ODM. Results ni ile kura umepata. Unaona? Kama itaannouncewa na station ya ODM, itakuwa ni hiyo results yako. Fox News here in the last elections, Fox ni Republicans.
Exactly.
You know, election ijaisha, then Fox News comes out when everybody else is quiet. Ni station ya Trump inasema Trump ameshindwa Georgia. Do you know how Trump was mad about that? So how can our own station call out that we have lost in Georgia? But they were looking at the numbers because they had reporters on the ground telling them, even if the results are going to come out, zikuja hata zote zile zimekuja, hata hizo zote 100%. Hii hapa ameshashindwa. It is that simple. You know, ukienda hivyo itakuwa unaona, itakuwa ni hivi. it will be like Rift Valley yote ikishahesabiwa, Central ishahesabiwa, Nyanza imehesabiwa, then unabaki na Eastern ndio ijamaliziwa kuhesabiwa. You already know the president.
Exactly.
Hata Eastern yote ikihesabiwa, you already know Eastern ndio iko na hii kura so much. Hata wakiiba hata ngapi. It will the opportunity to steal elections, and it is cheaper for the electoral body in Kenya. That's how I look at it.
You see something, eh? We go back to history, eh? The way the elections were designed to be conducted in Kenya during the first election after independence, all the way to date. Those very early days, the election process was designed for a population of some 20 million people. And of those 20 million people, probably registered voters was close to maybe 1 million, 2 million, something thereabout. So it was working at that time. Now, just like in public administration and resource allocation in Kenya, there are some Africans who got into that space that the white man left, na wakaonja hii asali, na wakapata kitu ni tamu. Then they become the black colonialists, the neo-colonialists. Hawataki kuchange, because if they change, they lose out. So they maintain status quo, the way we do our elections. And this is not just elections. This is across so many things. The functioning of our jail and prison system, that should be changed. Something as simple as our driving school and our driving school curriculum. Those are things that should change. The way we do our public procurement and tendering, those are things that should change. But we are stuck with the vitu wakoloni waliacha. And that's what the problem is. So you are, Mzalendo, you are very right when you say that the political class is riding on this inefficiency of this old system to maintain control and to be able to manipulate the electoral process. But if you ask me, that proposal that is on the table for the election process, I support it 100%. So that we do exactly what you are saying that happens in the US. We should have elections in a way that on the same day, at the latest the next day early morning, if it's not declared, people already know this is going this way, because you count the votes that have been counted, that have been reported by the media, you look at what is remaining, you can project and extrapolate and see that hii kitu nani amechukua, and let it be something that we don't, in Kenya, the reason why what you are saying, Zalendo, is what happens. They count votes, bado wanahesabu Okea Mutata 1, Nick Changisa 2, Jeremiah Okelo 1, nani like that. So imagine if you want to do that for over 14 million votes across the country. Unaona ni ujinga tu.
But unaona, you are looking at it literally that hii kitu itafanyika, it happens simultaneously. It doesn't happen like you finish. You know where you vote in your village. I am telling you, by the time the polls close down by 6 p.m., you already know the results of who won in that polling center.
Exactly.
Yes.
By midnight, hata midnight ni mbali, by saa 3 saa 4, you already know that so and so won in this particular polling station, and there are other polling stations around that area. So it in 2 hours, 3 hours, you already know that huyu jamaa ameshinda in this constituency. So that's a simple thing, but the political class are attacking you.
They can't, hawezi kubali. So it's a problem.
I like
But
that.
unajua Kenya wanatakanga ziende huko ndio waibe kila kitu.
No,
That's the idea.
tunasema hawawezi iba. But you guys, what do you see about Morara Kibaso's being on the ballot in 2027? Huyu Morara mnamwonaje? Jerry, unataka nini?
That you know, that's a very interesting and very exciting question, and I'll put it in the same box with the suggestion of Okia Omtata and Justice Maraga in one ticket. Those are very good people. They are people that can straighten this country. But one thing I can assure you, they will never get anywhere that seat if they continue kufuatia wa Kenya. Because one thing you also have to appreciate, Kenyans are, as a people, the way our politics has evolved over years, we don't vote on issues.
Exactly.
We vote on popularity. We vote on people who dishes out, handouts. So as much as Dani Morara is a very nice guy, he could help. He could be a good candidate, right? But I don't see him, being even a force to reckon with, because also the nature of our politics, it requires deep pockets. I doubt if he has pockets that deep, or if he has people that are willing to put their money on him and support him. So I don't. He would be a good person to have maybe in parliament, okay, but not the presidency.
Exactly.
Dominic, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to say something, my brother Mzalendo. Omondi amesema ukweli hapo kabisa. Huyu kijana Kibaso, wacha aelekea parliament, aende pale kwa akaulize kiti pale, akuje parliament oversight, anaweza fanya kazi mzuri hapo. Lakini
That would be good.
Being a president of this Republic of Kenya, lazima atoboke hiyo mfuko yake. Tusi umesikia ule senator wa sijui ni wa Nandi ama ni wa Kericho, say aliambia Mutata tafuta 7 billion. Sijui ilikuwa juzi. Imagine wewe niambie mtu akwambie hivyo. It's not a joke, by the way, kukuwa president wa Kenya lazima utoboke. It's not a joke. So
mimi nakwambia, mimi nimeshakimbia na hao siasa. Governor peke yake, governor kuwa governor na uende mahali kuna hii constituency ya kina Jeremy uende hapo pale Wajaluo wamefungua mdomo pesa yako ndo nangoje.
That is the truth, my brother.
Unamaliza rally hivi, Kisii ni afadhali. Unajua Nyabuto, you guys are, let me tell you, the difference between Kisii politics and Luo Nyanza politics is that Kisii politics hautumii pesa mingi sana.
Exactly.
Hautumii, Wakisii wakisha kupenda
wamekupenda.
And the Kisii youths are economically empowered. They don't have time to line up to 200 ama nini. Wanakuja kusikia sera yako, kama wakutaki wanakukataza tu hapo. Wewe hatukupatii, tulikupatia umeshindwa kazi. Kazi. That is the difference between Kisiis and Luos. They will change leaders year.
And Mzalendo, not even just Kisiis and Luos. It's, I think, the whole country and Luos. Over the years, the politics in Luo Nyanza has evolved into something where if you want to vie for elective position, wewe ni a cow for the people to milk you. And for people to vote, you have to be milkable. If you're not milkable, you will not.
You're out. You are out.
You are out.
You are
So
out. No matter how good you are, and you have people.
You know, can you imagine? Even the good leaders cannot try. They cannot even attempt. There are so many good people who can make a difference.
Exactly.
Somebody wants to be a leader to inspire change, and is a Luo. They don't. We have them. Nick, you know all these people. The professionals, people that really want to do, they won't even go to anywhere near politics because of the nature of our politics in that part of the country.
They don't want even to talk about it. Forget even
they
about even. They don't even talk about it. They don't even talk.
The few who tried burned their fingers, and those who did not try waliona wakasema hapa, wacha ni nyamaze, wacha tu nifanye kazi yangu ama biashara yangu.
Kazi yako uende nyumbani ukae, because I am telling you, you know, Dominic, what you don't know about, you unaona hiyo group leo wamepokea rais.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, the senator of Kisumu had to part with the money. It was the governor that crowd was paid. There is no way.
Exactly, my brother. Exactly.
You will get that crowd for free. Utawalipa.
Already tusaanza kuona creeps. Watu wasachukua creeps. Already zaanza kutembea.
Utawalipa na utawalipa pesa mzuri sana. Si ati nini. Utawalipa. Hiyo ndio shida ya Luo, Nyanza and politics. And that is why we don't get, despite this community having the most learned, you know, people who are learned, engineers, doctors, lawyers, but the kind of people that they elect. Wewe niambie, kuna constituency moja hapa iko na mtu kama Junet Mohamed, mwingine anaitwa Ngondowere, mwingine kingine ni kafupi wa Karachuonyo huko anaitwa nani? Adipo Kuomi. Yani watu wengine hata hawaongeagi hata kwa parliament. Yet they lead constituency yake. Kuna ma lecturers, kuna ma engineer, kuna madaktari, kuna political analysts. Yani people who can lead the people, but they are never given a chance. And because of our bad politics.
A lot of times, Nick, it's not even that they are not given a chance. They don't even present themselves for the chance, because the moment you present yourself, you have to bootlick a certain somebody. So if you know, by the time you've gone to school, you become a professor and you've lectured in a university for so many years, and you are an expert in maybe, you know, economic development or whatever field, you can reason, you can analyze things. So when you get in a situation where somebody wants you to, you know, bootlick them this way, that way, this way, before you get a party ticket to go and vie, you can try it once before you know better. But the moment you go through that process once, the next time, unasema sikae tu, let me go back to school and teach. That's why you see a lot of professionals, wamejaribu once, they go through that experience, they are like, this I'm not going to do this again. They go and shut down, and you never hear them. They go and sit down and
you watch us here. I'll tell you a story. This just happened 2 weeks ago. I get a call from my friend Anaishi, Texas. Opande calls me and say, hey, Nick, we have somebody who is new here. Welcome him to America and all that. Now, this guy introduces himself. He's a professor. Hey, prof, I've just been here for 2 weeks. I like the country. Then we get into a conversation that lasted almost 2 hours. Now, this guy told me, one, I told him, we in the US, we are trying to go back home and build our country. He told me, which country? Which country are you trying to build? Which one? Kenya. You must be sick.
Yeah.
And I asked him, you know, you are a professor. By the time you get into the US system and even do something meaningful here, you'll be working at Walmart, a supermarket, arranging soap and other things and cleaning the place. And you are a professor. Are you ready to do that? He told me, Mzalendo, listen, I am ready to do it. I will do it. But telling me to go back to Kenya, no way. I have
No
left
way.
my job there. I have a house there. I have everything there, but I can't go back to that country. Have you seen what is happening lately? People are being killed. People are what? I would rather loan my neighbors. I was loaning my house the other day, and the neighbor Mzungu called me and said, hey, can you loan me this compound for $200? I would rather do that than be a professor in Kenya. Can you imagine that?
It is that bad.
It is that bad. Yani nikasema hata mimi ule nafikiria kurudi nyumbani. Hata mimi si professor, but
wewe kuja na hiyo pesa yako kidogo
professor ndio huyu professor ndiye ametoka Kenya, ameniambia
wewe kuja na hiyo pesa yako kidogo tukusaidie when you're on vacation for that 2-3 weeks when you're here, ukimaliza rudi tu utuache sisi tupambane, because wewe way system ya Kenya sahi, it will take you, if you come back to Kenya now, it will take you 10 years to start understanding the system. But you tell sahi ukiongezewa 10 years ndo uanze kuadjust to Kenya system.
10 years unaenda kufanya ni, yani before you adjust 10 years umeadjust ndio uingie na hiyo kabal, uingie kwa procurement,
exactly,
entrepreneur. Wewe ni mzee, unaanza kutibu magonjwa ya uzee.
So what is this? Those of us who are here, we know how to go around it, but on a very serious note, I think Kenya is at a place where we really need to have very honest conversations, with ourselves, and more so, Nyabuto, not to tribalize this whole conversation.
Yeah.
They say charity begins at home. And when I say Nyanza in this context, Nyabuto, even though I include you, we need to really look at where are we going as a people who've always been known to have ideologies. It's always long been known that if you find a Luo in a government office, you are sure to be served well. You don't anticipate to be asked for bribes and things like that. But now, we are at a point where, like what Mzalendo was mentioning when I came in, the Luo vote is auctioned to the highest bidder. If Uhuru comes and he wants the Luo vote because he knows that will get him to State House, he comes and the Luo vote is sold to him. When Ruto wants, he leaves the other people, he comes and buys. And now the Luo people who have been co-opted into this government, they're now the ones defending something that they did not even eat. 1, 2, something that the whole world is against. Them, they are still sitting there looking stupid and trying to defend it. Or Peo and I is defending something in parliament, and before he even leaves the chambers of the parliament, the president comes and cancels that thing. Do you think that there was no intelligence that the president was going to cancel those tenders? He knew going into parliament. He knew that. Why did they not tell Wandai that, you know what, they would have just told the House Business Committee chair, who is also the president's party member, that can you hold that interview with the minister for energy? Can you guys hold that Mungoje Mfanye after the president has spoken, so that he didn't have to go and embarrass himself, and then president comes 10 minutes later and cancels? Do you see that was deliberate? They let him go there and look stupid and then come and cancel. That shows you there is no goodwill in that. Today, again, you look at people like Junet trying to say that now that people have chased away Adani, now they need to come up with a solution of how to fix the issue of JKIA. Since when did opposition stand with the government against the people? The people have spoken. Adani is bad. You are an opposition leader. You are the opposition chief whip in the National Assembly. Why are you asking Kenyans to tell the government, what can be done about JKIA? because Kenyans have chased away Adani. Very wrong. So we need to really look at where are we going as a people, especially the type of people we put into leadership. We have to really have a serious discussion as a country.
Martin, my brother.
I agree with you. I mean, the issue, that issue of, I watched the minority leader saying that they now support the government on the president's speech. And he supported every other thing that the president of the Republic of Kenya said. And this is a minority leader who is supposed to be in the opposition, who is opposing an alternative government.
He should be oversighting the executive.
But unajua Junet alianza kitambo hata wakiwa Migori. Hajaanza jana.
Yes.
So this is I mean ni wakati and then shida ni, the problem is you cannot be in the minority supporting the government and at the same time you are oversighting the same government.
Exactly.
How does that work? You know, how does it work? You know, for a very long time we have been lied to that, and I think it is the greed by ODM, the greed by ODM to be in not even ODM, Azimio. The greed, ODM has refused to leave Azimio. You know, the ODM has refused to leave Azimio completely.
They are not going to leave.
And they claim they are still in Azimio, but they don't even attend any of the meetings on Azimio.
They're leaving it as a backup. If you know politics, they're leaving it as a backup, so that if a case, something happens, they can always run back there and say we are in Azimio. That is just wameacha tu hapo as a backup.
No, hiyo ni politics ya conmanship. I think that is now conning the people. We are opposing this government. At the same time, this government is the one that is supporting the leader on AU seat, and it is the one that is saying that we have co-opted the ODM party. But looking at Jeremy, there is something that I've been trying to figure out. What happens to our friends who are UDA supporters and they come from Nyanza? Who are candidates who want to vie for the position? I know of a friend who wants to be the governor. Husband wants to be the governor, of course, on a UDA ticket. They want to vie. Yes.
Hesbon Omolo.
Yeah, Hesbon Omolo really wants to. I've heard rumors like that he wants to vie to be the gubernatorial candidate. But these are people who are going to vie definitely on a UDA ticket. Is it possible for these people to vie on a UDA ticket now that there is a collaboration between UDA and ODM?
If you ask me, what I foresee happening is that one, Raila is going to fail in the AU. Okay. Then when he comes back, he has two choices. One, to decide to vie again on an ODM ticket, which will be a very interesting scenario. And if he does, that gives Ruto a very clean slate back in 2027. Second option Raila has is stick it out with Ruto up to 2027, and that, for me, that is the most probable solution, because it won't be just his decision. It will be a decision that will be pushed by Ruto. Ruto will do whatever it takes to keep Raila with him. So I see a situation where he will spend money to buy Raila or pay him or whatever his people, whatever the case may be, like we started with this co-opting experts thing going on. Okay. He can possibly, because he has the numbers in the National Assembly, the Senate, he could possibly create a scenario where the executive has an issue and he wants to create a prime minister position and put Raila in there for the last 2 years of his term, in which case we'll keep Raila. Because one thing Ruto knows, there is no politician in Kenya as dangerous as an idle Raila. You have to keep Raila busy. And that is why even now, Ruto knows Raila is not going to win AU, but he's keeping Raila busy. You see, now he's in West Africa. He's keeping Raila busy. He knows Raila is not going to win. He already knows those. But he's keeping Raila busy because he knows as an idle Raila in Kenya is dangerous for any administration.
So he's keeping Raila busy and
Yes. Yes. So he will do that once Raila comes back after losing the AU thing. He will keep Raila busy one way or another. And one of the things that I know he can easily do, and Raila will not have a problem with it, is create a situation where the government is in a crisis. He needs somebody to help him, a prime minister of sorts, give him some an illegal portfolio and keep him close to him and ride with him up to the elections.
Wow.
When that happens, Ruto is going to go back very cleanly. Then whatever he does second term, that will be a different story. So the people that, like you're asking Zalendo, those people who are, to answer question now, the people who are going to vie in Luo Nyanza on UDA tickets, what will happen is UDA and ODM will form a pre-election coalition. And they will go like that.
But my brother Jeremy,
that's what I think. That's what I'm thinking will happen.
Kuna swali nauliza hapa. Kuna ka story kana penya if all goes well. Ni kama huyu mama wa Homa Bay anaweza kuwa running mate wa Ruto. Kuna ka upepo kana pita na unajua kitu ikisemwa liko. Will it happen?
I don't know. That I've heard it as well, but I don't know. It might. In politics, you can't say never. It might happen. And if it does happen, then it leaves Mzalendo's opinion that Hezbollah Omolo then would step in and go for a big gubernatorial post. So it's possible. It's possible. You can never say never.
You have closed that puzzle very intelligently. That it leaves that vacuum for Hezbollah Omolo to sleep in. But
yes.
One thing I need to add to you, Jeremy, is that the Luo vote is a very useless currency in Kenyan politics today. I don't know, the value has diminished with time. I've seen Raila's politics since 2007. The numbers that he has been getting lately, it does not reflect the same person that we voted for in 2007. He's not been getting as many seats in Western as he used to get. He's not getting as many seats in Coast as he used to get. And this likewise to Nairobi. So the numbers are really, really going down. And I don't see the ODM party rejuvenating itself. Now, to answer you on the Gladys Wanga aspiration and ambitions, first of all, this is a woman who has failed terribly in Homa Bay. And having her as a deputy or a running mate of a president does not add value to the Ruto's candidature. Ruto needs a candidate that will add value. Kindiki does not add any value.
Exactly.
Ruto, and is going to be dismissed to come to 2027. He does not add any value. He is so inconsequential. He's not even political. So let me leave Anthony Okwara to say something. Anthony, say something, one. Oh,
Anthony, it's your time. Ameenda.
ameenda atarudi tu.
Amepotea.
Mm,
Hiyo huyo
so,
Gladys Wanga leo aliongea
but
akaambia Ruto.
Mzalendo, if what you have said is very right, but what I think would happen, and this goes back to the statement I said earlier, Ruto has to keep Raila happy and busy.
happy and busy.
And because you know this, Nick, as well as I know, Mzalendo, that right now Gladys has the favor of Raila and his household, meaning Ida, because she's feeding them very well. If Raila knows that Gladys goes and run with the Ruto, and by the time Gladys goes there, he's already pointed what he wants. He will gladly let that happen. The value for Ruto will be that they can design it so that Gladys brings the female vote. That could be a little bit of an impact. Could help him, depending on how they message that. So that's what I would see. But let me tell you guys the truth. The way the Kenyan politics is structured right now, if everything stays the same, Ruto is going to go back to be the president in 2030, from 2027 up until 2032. I don't see any way anyone can beat him. Yes, you can beat him, but I don't see him surrendering that seat. I don't see him saying at Kasarani and handing the sword to someone else. I don't see that happen. But can I tell you something that happened 2 weeks ago that I said this could be the 8? Forget Omtata. Forget, Kebaso. If Jagot, Dr. Matiang'i steps in the ring, my friend, I can tell you Ruto won't be a happy person in this Kenya. And even if that were to happen, even Raila's support for him would start wavering. Because I can tell you for a fact that if Matiang'i and what has been said is happening, that is Uhuru. You can take that to the bank. That is Uhuru. And if Uhuru is involved, they know how to twist Raila. They know how to position Raila with the carrots, dangling carrots for him.
Exactly.
That they can dangle for him things that Ruto might not be able to dangle for him.
Exactly.
If the issue of Matiang'i is true, that is going to run, I can tell you that is the only time I see Ruto actually having a real challenge at the presidency. Other than that, I don't see anyone. Kina Kalonzo, there's nothing there. Those ones, Ruto will win very early in the morning.
What?
Well, you see now the politics. Now, this now begs the question that is our politics has not reached a point of where we are looking at people of integrity.
Yes.
No, we are still not yet at that juncture where we are looking at this guy is clean, this guy can manage. We are looking at somebody who can marshal a presidential campaign and win. And in that group,
Numbers.
and win the numbers. So the combination of Matiang'i and Gachagua is a done deal. If Matiang'i can combine with Gachagua and get Natembea on board from Western, then Kalonzo to ride again on the same boat, then I think Ruto can go home. Ruto can go home easily. But if that combination cannot be realized, then Ruto will still be the president. So that combination has to be really, really worked upon. And I am glad people are seeing it this way. because I'm in a group where people think that Kenya has reached a point where they need somebody of integrity. No, hii siasa ya Kenya bado tunahitaji wakora wengine in another circle wakuje. Then in 2032 we can look out for people of integrity. That is what Jeremy has said in short.
Yeah. That is the nature of Kenyan politics. I can tell you that. And it's not going to change.
That is the nature of
Kenyan. It's not going to change in 2027.
Host, namna gani bana?
Mbona Matiang'i hawezi sumbua Ruto. Matiang'i ametulia sana, atasaidiwa na nani? But wanasema Uhuru is the most influential person in Africa. Alienda South Africa akasaidiana huko, akaenda Nigeria.
That's why I'm telling you, if you see if Matiang'i actually vies, trust me, it's because of Uhuru. Matiang'i on his own has nothing. Peke yake. And if Uhuru is involved with him, you know that he's going to run a serious race. And Kenyans love Matiang'i. People saw the things he did. People saw the way he works. And that's what people are yearning for. People are yearning for leadership that can hold people accountable, that can, show results. That this is what used to be the case. I intervened and did this, and this is where the case is. Matiang'i has numerous results. When he was in education, when he was in ICT, when he was in interior, he can show what he did that people liked. They are tangible, you can count them.
And what if among the former prime minister ifike hiyo time ya 2027 atangaza aseme nimeunga Matiang'i mkono na our brothers from
hiyo
Central
Matiang'i amemaliza
hiyo deal itakuwa imeisha.
Matiang'i akisimama na baba msupport,
yes,
that's a serious threat to Ruto. Wanaweza shinda on the ballot, but knowing the history of Ruto, hata peana sword Kasarani, he won't. He would rather have a government of national unity or nusu mkate or something, but hata peana sword yote iende Kasarani. That I can assure you. That hatafanya.
That is the only fear we have in Kenya.
Apeane sword iende. Hiyo hapana. So that combination will run, but will fight, because remember that if there is bloodshed, there is post-election violence, there is what, those are happening as is the sitting president. So anyone who is coming in has to start from that foundation that is the sitting president.
Okay.
So whatever solution that has to come, that is saying that atoke ndio tuongee, it won't happen. You have to first accept that ye ni sitting president. So now what do you want him to do? You remember the way Kibaki's situation with Raila in 2007? Yeah. Yes, everyone knew. Even Kibaki himself knew huyu jamaa amenichapa. Hata wacha nimwachie. But when Annan and the rest came to do the peace deal, they starting from the point of Kibaki is the sitting president. Let's go from there. Then now you end up with the government of national unity, or nusu mkate, whatever you want to call it. And for me, I think that's what's going to happen with Ruto. People will Matiang'i can put up a really good fight, right? Might even beat him by the numbers. But the question is, will he give up the sword viraisi at Kasarani? I doubt if he will.
Hey, Matiang'i naye akikuwa president. You guys, are you imagining Matiang'i ni president wa Kenya?
A tough man.
Mutaamka hiyo jinga mutaamka. Matiang'i ataanza kukuandikia viboko kila asubuhi. Wewe unasumbua.
That is true.
Utaandikiwa kiboko kila siku na umeshikwa na corruption. Matiang'i anakuambia beba mzigo yako bwana.
Enda home.
Enda home.
Enda home.
Enda home. You know.
Na ukienda hivi kwenda kuchukua vitu zako kwa ofisi EACC ndio hiyo.
Yeah, we kitu ile ufanye tu, chukua vitu zako kwa ofisi uende nyumbani, tutakusindikisha. The best I can do for you is to make sure that you don't go to jail, but leave that office. I think
but we need a strict leader. Kenya inataka kiongozi kama yule mwenye ana punish wale viongozi wako corrupt bwana. Watu wanaiba pesa mingi.
Lakini sasa ile combination ile nilikuwa ninaangalia. Okio mtata na
huyo
yeye atakufunga.
Huyo hana political influence hata.
No, you see the other time this group called Gen Z.
It's so polite.
You know, I need you to go back to 2022. 8 million Kenyans did not vote. There's a group of young people. The other day we saw what they can do. Now they have been ignited to participate in the elections. You've seen them appearing in talk shows, Nanini. This group will participate in the 2027 elections. For the first time, mark my words, they are participating for the first time as a group that is annoyed, is agitated, and wants to revenge on William Ruto. This is a group of professionals and a group of unemployed youths. Do you know what? I was shocked the other day, Dominic. These young people, do you know what they were doing during the demonstration? They came from home. They had marker pen.
Exactly.
Wameandika namba zao za simu kwa mwili. Hapa mahali yote, kila mahali. Ati wameandika namba za simu in case wawawe, unaweza pigia mzazi wao simu.
Imagine.
You are dealing with that kind of person. You start imagining your son or daughter gone for a demonstration na amekwambia dadi nimenunua maka hii namba, ukipigiwa simu wali yote, mochari yote, hospitali yote, itakuwa mimi ndio niko kwa hospitali kama nimekufa. So this country has reached that point. So you can imagine where everybody else is. Na bado unaona watu wengine wanasema Ruto can come back. Ruto, I don't see, Jeremy, I don't see this guy coming back at all. Not
even me, I don't see. I don't see kama Ruto hakuwa na chance.
You see, Mzalendo, what I said there is that depending on who he runs against, there are people that if he runs against, for example, if Raila comes back and Raila wants to run again, that I can guarantee you, if the option is Ruto, horse number 1, Raila, horse number 2, maybe Kalonzo, horse number 3, number 4 Okia, number 5 Kebaso, number 6 kina Mwaura, nani kina those guys like that. Hiyo Ruto anarudi nyumbani.
What if Papa is being supported with Central?
Yes, but if this guy is gang up against him, ataenda home. But what I said is that any good combination can beat him in the ballot. But will he surrender? Will he say, mmeshinda, chukueni, endeni nayo? Do you think Ruto's personality, what in his personality tells you or shows you that if somebody beats him fair and square, atasema ule nani ameshinda na awache na peane sword? What in his character or personality or in his political history tells you that is somebody willing of accepting that nimeshindwa?
Ruto, you are right. Ruto has never lost any election, first off.
He won.
And the one that he lost, that he was in, he was with Raila Odinga. And he was the one who pushed Raila to the negotiating table. And he held the line for Raila Odinga with these people in the Rift Valley. So you are absolutely right. But I don't think he will reach to a point where he's not surrendering the sword. But he will negotiate with people like Matiang'i before election. Wewe usisimame. Ukisimama, this is going to happen to you. Or chukua hii pesa, mkae kando.
Yeah, he can do those.
Yeah.
He can do that,
just do that. Wey, Matiang'i bana, hii ni bilioni moja hapa, bilioni mbili. This is money that you eat for the rest of your life. Weka kando huko. There's nothing that you want in politics. We have given you security. Go and buy the
what is your problem? What do you want?
Else do you want? Unataka nini? Let me, you can think about coming to elections after 2007, after 2027, because you'll be young. Utakuja after mimi. And apart from this, I'll give you a position. Even today, I am telling you, do you know the CS for internal security has not been appointed?
Nope. And that's intentional.
That is intentional. A country is running without CS for internal security. It is intentional. Yeah. I will not be surprised.
There's a reason why.
I will not be surprised.
And the reason is why, by the way.
I will not be surprised if Dr. Matiang'i is appointed tomorrow.
Don't be shocked.
I don't think so.
Don't be shocked.
Don't be shocked.
Are you sure?
I am telling you. And what happens when he appoints? What happens when he appoints? What happens when he appoints Matiang'i? The politics changes completely.
Completing everything will stand.
And he can do that.
Dominic here will be telling me that he will be voting for Ruto again.
I will vote for Ruto. Because I don't think
a few hours ago. Right now he's saying if Matiang'i is given the CS, he's voting for Ruto.
Because of what, my brother? You know,
anything is possible.
Akichagua Matiang'i, I don't see a competitor, a serious competitor. Now, I think Ruto will win.
Angalia, you know, this is now where my Kenyan friends, you are not honest. You are not very honest. Now, everything I had really respected in Nyabuto until he made this statement. When I said, okay, Matiang'i is appointed the CS for internal security, then Ruto all of a sudden becomes a good person. How?
But my brother, let me ask you. Mimi sijasema akimchagua huyo jamaa atakuwa amepadrika. You know, politics of Kenya, shida tuko nayo. Unajua si sasa hapa Kenya mtu wenu akiwa kwa government. Akiwa kwa government, you know you have to support that government. By the on my side, mimi Matiang'i akifuka pale, lakini sioni kama Matiang'i akipewa hiyo kazi anaweza jitokeza, because that is sioni.
Hata Matiang'i awekewe 5 billion. Naambiwe we shikilia hapa, nikitoka we kitu kuja uchukue bwana. You think atakata?
Atakata. Lakini ile follow Matiang'i yako nayo kutoka nyuma akina Uhuru Kenyatta. Do you think Ruto akimchagua asubuhi tusikia jina yake mtangazo anaweza kuja afanye hiyo kazi?
Awacha kwanza nikuulize, I want you to start imagining this, Dominic. Una 5 billion Kenya shillings, 5 billion Kenya shillings inabebwa na nini?
5 billion hiyo inaweza pepwa na trailer bwana.
Inaletwa na ile van ya Wells Fargo.
Exactly.
That kind of money is delivered by a van ya Wells Fargo. Ina deliver hiyo tena, na deliver hiyo usiku. Wewe kitu utafanya nayo hiyo ni shauri yako. but the money you have delivered it for you. Ebuni Ambie. We started these discussions with you saying that Ruto must go. But
Yes.
immediately we realized that when Ruto gives the
No, my brother. I have not changed my mind. No.
Matiangi, you can easily change your mind. No, this is happening. This is not only happening to you, but it can happen to somebody else. And if it is not happening to you, majority of cases will feel that, oh, now one of our own is on the seat, then Ruto is just okay. Just like my community, when they were given the CS for the PS and those other positions, then we became contented
Exactly.
with whatever Ruto is doing. And we felt okay. Let me invite Bets. Bets Willie. I hope I got the pronunciations right.
Yes.
Unmute, just unmute. Bets. Good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hello
yes,
to you, madam.
yeah. Please welcome to Afrique 24 and tell us where you are listening from or you're tuned in. And I'm glad to have you here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. My name is Betty, and I'm tuning in from Oxford in the UK. I've been listening to the politics, and obviously it's affecting me despite the fact that I'm not in the country, but Kenya is home. So everything that goes on there affects us one way or the other, even if we're outside in the diaspora.
Yeah.
I think it's the greatest challenge has just been wondering whether we'll ever get good leadership in the country and how people will be able to vote next time wisely and not so much the UDA or the Kenya Kwanza, or I don't know whether you call them the political parties, but to elect the leaders who can do things, because I think that is how we found ourselves in this situation. Voting, having alliances by tribe, and the person you're electing possibly is not even qualified to do just that leadership of being a minister or being an MP. So it will be interesting to see how the next election will pan out. And also just to understand whether people understand the mistake they made, because you can only move forward if you know what went wrong, and so that you can do something different to make things different and have a different outcome. So yeah, those are my thoughts, and that's why I stand, and is just hoping that the mwananchi, who is all of us down at the bottom, grassroots, will vote with the needs, knowing that their child will go to school not barefoot but will have shoes on, because the coffee will be paid on time, the systems will be set aligned. But this can only come through good governance, and people who are accountable. And I think we probably do need to have this particular leadership. I'm not saying to be taught a lesson, but they need to have some form of accountability. They just don't come out of the office without telling us where's the money, or like some form of a follow-up, because we will need the money. And they always say they've left the coffers empty, but Kenya is very rich. So with good governance, some of these problems can be resolved. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Betty. I agree with you. I started this show by saying that Kenya has reached a point where we need to look at economic development other than the political parties or the tribal alliances that are there. So we need to look at a candidate that is going to revive the economy and hope that the people of Kenya need. But the more I continue talking to people, the more we host panelists on Afrique 24, is when I realize that we are yet far away from that kind of ideology and thought process that so many people are thinking, especially the people in the diaspora. We tend to think, and we have a cautious that good governance will bring development in the country. But the voters, the real voters back at home, are they thinking in the same way? You've seen, maybe just to ask you a direct question, Ruto was in Nyanza today, in Kisumu precisely. The images you get from that kind of meeting, do you think that the candidates that are now eyeing for this seat will match that kind of reception or that kind of influence when they get into the ballot in 2027?
I don't know. Sometimes it's very, you may see what you're seeing, but we don't know whether these people were paid. Were they paid to turn up? So I think I would want to know, because if there was that kind of persuasion, attend the meeting, I'll give you 1,000. People are poor, so that 1,000 is their next meal, or the next meal for 2 days, or the next meal for 3 days. They will attend that meeting to get the 1,000. But if there wasn't that incentive, would they have gone? I don't know. So for me, I think I want to know what they paid.
But Betty, the indicator that what you've said serves, to demonstrate is that come election day, if I can pay them 1,000 shillings today just to come to a rally, don't you think I would be able to pay them 1,000 or even more to come and vote for me on election day? So the capacity of somebody to pay that many people to come for a rally, that aside from the optics has no other benefits, shows you that they have the capacity to pay that many people or even more to come and vote for them. So for me, that is, your question is very valid, but the way I look at it is that it's an indicator of the payers' capacity to pay many people to come to his rally, thereby able to pay that or more to come and vote for him. That's the way I look at it.
Exactly.
It's a shame, because I think if I can be able to educate my grandmother, my cousins, and we have like an open and honest conversation to the people that are nearest to me, and everybody duplicates this and this is what, civic education, and tell people this is where we are here, because we are here because of these mistakes, and this is where we are going away from, and this is the candidates we want to choose. I don't know if each one of us who understood progress or the effects of voting, educated those that are around them, maybe that's the only way we can do it. We become our own campaigners in our village to avoid this problem. It is a big problem, and I can't understand, because most people, we have the youth who have been to school, they're educated, but they're jobless. So I can't understand why they can't, even if we're just the youth were to vote, and vote wisely, they can make the change. The percentage is very high. The percentage of the youth.
There are two things. There are two sides to that conversation, in my view. Sorry for interjecting.
Yes, carry on.
For me, there are two sides to that coin. The first side is that these youths these cousins and all the people that you can go and do civic education for, they've probably had civic education conducted on them, and they've been told to vote for the right people, maybe in 2013 and 2017, and maybe even prior. And what has happened is that they've voted for somebody who they think is the right person, only for this person to go there and flip on them. So that they're like, this is not the person I voted to. The person I voted to said you do this, you do this, you do that. Why is he not doing this? Why is he not delivering this? You understand? So
Yeah.
they get disappointed by that. So now even if you conduct civic education, they're not sure if it's really worth it. That is one side of it. The other side of it is inherently in Kenya, our politics is not issue-based. Our politics is more, tribe or, other form of affiliation-based. If I'm a Muslim and there's a Muslim running against a Christian, I'll probably vote for them just because of the mere fact that we are both Muslims. If I'm a Luo and I have a Luo running against another tribe, I'll most probably vote for him because he's a Luo like me. And that goes for all the 42 tribes of our country. So that is the second part of that discussion. Until that changes, right, to where people understand that I'm not voting for you because you are my tribe. I'm voting for you because you are the right person. And then when you get there, you deliver on your promises. And even if you don't deliver 100%, at least deliver 80% or 90%. Then Kenyans, will always still have this problem with politics, where people literally, I can tell you that a lot of people, say people within the ages of 50 back to say maybe 35, right? Those who voted more than once, they're like, what's the point? I vote and I don't get what I want. So what's the point? So even if you come and you are the worst person and you give me 1,000, I'll come and take that 1,000 and go. The next person who comes probably worse than you, they come with 1,000 or maybe 500, I'll take their 500, 1,000 and go. Because that is what you hear everyone complaining about, voter apathy. Those are the challenges that Kenya needs to address. How they will be addressed, I have no idea. But until those issues get addressed, then we can start having good leaders.
You're right. Go on.
It's a great shame because if that, even the politicians, when they come to vote, they don't talk policy. So they don't talk farming, agriculture, or the roads. They don't say that what I never get to hear that. I never get to hear that this is when we come in, we are going to do XYZ to improve. They never talk about who they stand for or what their party stands for. And I think even so, we don't even know what it is we're electing. So they already come without an aim, without goals, without action plans. So how do you expect that party to develop or be progressive or development friendly if they hadn't even got a manifesto to say what it is that they will do for us in the 5 years? If you elect me, I am going to build this road. If you elect me, I am going to make sure the children have school primary fees is free or university fees is free. Or Kenyans just, I don't know what they listen to when they campaign. What do they talk about? Because they don't say these things. And I think maybe that's even where we go wrong.
You see that 1,000 you talked about earlier? That's all they hear. Because like you said it, in your own words, that's their meal for the next 3 days. So that's what they listen.
You know, I want to ask Betty a question. Betty, who do you think right now in the political scenario that we are in can bring change in the country?
So actually, I have been looking around and I have been listening, and the people who have come to the forefront for me, I would vote for Matiang'i. And that man, when he speaks one with a clear mind and direction. And we've seen that he has managed to do something when he was in power. He streamlined education, or he attempted to. I think he's the only one who moved things forward. I would vote for Omutata.
Okay, Omtata.
I think the man is he hasn't had political he's not he hasn't got he has not been he's not a politician, but I think with him he can address issues and he can understand the constitution because that's his line. So he will, in terms of governance, I think he will follow the constitution and make things right in that perspective. So I think Matiang'i is a leader and he will lead by action. Omtata will be through governance. He may identify what needs doing and he follows the constitution how to get there. I like Murara because he has stepped up. He hasn't got he's not a politician. He's got vision. So he's a visionary. I think he knows what Kenya needs to look like in 30 years, 50 years time. If we sort these things out, we will get our kids going to school. This is where our money is we're losing money. So he may not be a politician now, but I think he can be a good leader because he has a vision. I'm not sure about the other lot. The other lot will be the woman. What is her name? This lawyer
Betty.
lady. What is her name?
She's,
Karua.
Yeah, Karua. I'm not sure about Karua because I think she can be part of the cabinet.
Same monkey.
If I was the president, I'd probably put
Karua is
her.
same monkey.
Sorry?
Karua is same monkey. You can't.
Different
You put
outfit.
her there.
So I
Of course,
probably
it's the same monkey.
I would probably put her because
Same monkey.
I would probably put her. Let me say something. I think sometimes you have to have experience, people with experience. So imagine Morara. Morara has a vision. He needs people. So if he put Matiang'i and he put Tata in his cabinet, and he went and found replica of these people 10 times, people who can act, people who, when they're told go do this job, they go and complete the job. They do not they are clean, so they will keep their sheets clean. They wouldn't want bribing. I'm not sure. I would wipe out the judiciary and I would get fresh blood. I would get every single magistrate, chief justice out. I would just flush them all out because I don't think they are a representative of what we need in 10, 20 years to come. We want people who are not stained. So those are the people I think I would look at. I think there's this woman, Wamushoma or somebody. Is she called Wamushoma?
Wamchomba.
That one. I
William
wouldn't see
Ruto.
her. That one. I wouldn't see her as a president, but I would want her in my cabinet. I don't think she's
Why?
when she speaks, she's a crowd mover. I don't hear vision. I hear She wants cheering. So maybe she's able to. She would be good in the cabinet, but I wouldn't see her as a president. I don't know whether you see what I'm saying. To be a leader, you need to. There's something when she speaks. I don't hear.
She's a mobilizer. She's a
No,
Yeah.
mobilizer. She
it would
can
be,
get
no,
you
Betty.
numbers.
I
She can
don't think
get you
you'd need.
people.
I don't think you'd need that kind of person in your cabinet. You'd need in
Exact,
your political wing, not
exactly
in
mzalendo.
position of leadership. Like you'd need
Yeah.
as in your political camp. But my fear. Okay, now look. Have you tried to envision this? Morara is the president. Sitting in his cabinet is Matiang'i.
Carry on.
Sitting in his cabinet is Matiang'i, and Okio Mtata are also appointed in his cabinet, and Martha Karua may be appointed because these are people who have shown that they have got integrity.
Yes.
What
Sex
will
unatembea.
Morara be telling Matiang'i?
Can I just
Please remove.
say,
Please
can I
remove
just say,
remove Kadua from that, please.
once you're the president, you carry an office. So they might not. He doesn't even need to tell Matiang'i anything, but Matiang'i needs to come and say, nilienda shule zile za Taveta nikakuta we need money. So all Morara needs to say, where do you think we can find the money? I don't actually think that when you're a leader, you need to come out with you have to give the people you're with autonomy. So, and I think that is quite a substantial quality of a leader. So if I'm the president, I would say take the Ministry of Finance. All I need is a report. Can you tell me what is our debt? How can we reduce our debt? Where do we get the money from? And we don't nyanyaza people by going to their stalls and raiding them for tax. Can we have a straightforward system? That person will come back to you with a report. You go to education. Say, can you tell me the problems we're facing right now in this ministry? What have you and your people come up with? That is the function of a leader. So you as the president, you cannot. What Ruto is doing, he's not being a president. He's a one-man show, and you can't run a country like that. It's not a kitchen. So you need to give people autonomy of what they need to do. They need to come back and answer to you so that you can be able to tell them. Yesterday you told me we were £3 short. Can you tell me how can we find this money that we are short? Go back to your calculator, come back and tell me how we can find this money. Which dennies are quick to pay, which ones can wait, and how is it improving our economy? You don't need to. You need to give these people the job, and then you have to tell them when they go to employ people, you want to see credentials. I don't want to see the whole of Kisii land because I'm Kisii in finance ministry. And you actually can put him accountable and tell him, can I see the people working for you? Why do you have all these people from the same village working for you? Make him accountable. What are the qualifications of your people? And tell him, endo ufanye kazi. But you have to do that check as a president to be
But
sure that things are going right.
do you know, madam? Sorry to interject. Do you know to have in politics of Kenya nowadays? Kuna watu wako wise. In Kenya huwezi kuwa wise than the president. Hapo hamtaelewana kwa hiyo cabinet. Mtaanza kurumbana hapo, it will make the president to fire you. Hapo sioni kama watu sasa mtu kama Matiang'i wafanya kazi na Morara. Sometimes I support mzalendo. Hapo ni ngumu. You don't need to be wise than the president. He will fire you early in the morning.
I don't understand why you would imagine he wouldn't land on the seat. He wouldn't run because he also has his own advisors. So when you're the president, you have a team of advisors around you who are actually giving you the information. Yes, Matiang'i is intelligent. Yes, Matiang'i has experience, but we don't have to be all of us as experienced. Look at Kibaki government. The Kibaki government had Michuki, had these people were, I know Kibaki had a great wealth of experience in finance, but
Exactly.
he also had other people equally qualified, and they didn't fire him.
But they
You
were
have to,
old.
sorry?
But they were old people.
Now
I think
when you
the
talk
argument.
about age, look at how the government in the UK is run. So I don't believe everybody needs to be young, but I think everybody needs to know what it is they are doing. Do you understand what your ministry is? Do you understand how it is run? Don't bring me somebody from your village because you went to school with them to run a whole ministry, because it will fail. You need
Exactly.
credentials, you need experience. But when you put all and it might be so that you find Matiang'i in Morara's cabinet, or the vice versa, Morara being, I don't know where would put Morara, but I can see Matiang'i being put anywhere and he would function. And I think you need a good team around you. You don't have to have the experience, and you will get the experience as you go along. Because honestly, if you can tengeneza kahawa, you tengeneza kahawa tea, you go and start making the industries function. You the textile function. You start getting jobs for these people. Tell people you want to see how you can create jobs. People won't care how old you are, because
Exactly.
they are functioning. There's food on their table. They're able to go to hospital and find medication. Would I care whether Morara is under 30, or I don't even know what his age is, but he looks like a very young man?
It is
Would I care?
around that.
Nenda Walmart fanya.
So you wouldn't care as long as
Walmart unalipa majani.
you're going to hospital. Put Matiang'i in Ministry of Health. Watu wakuwe na dawa, wakuwe na MRI machine, wakuwe na you want somebody who, your ministers need to function. You don't need to have that experience. You just need to say, can we find out how can we pregnant women have a place to have these babies? We don't want them having them in their homes because hakuna hospitali. And question and get systems going. As a president, that is you to oversee. And I think I can see what, oversee people and listen to your ministers, because what they do right now, I don't even know what they do, to be honest. I can't even understand how any of these ministers are accountable for the going to work every morning. What are they doing? Mashida ndio mingi kwa hiyo country.
Their job is to
Exactly.
their job is to create avenues to make money for themselves and for the president.
And that is where we went wrong, isn't it?
Yep.
And I understand there's a lot of cartels in Mombasa. There's a lot of cartels. Those cartels need to be streamlined. They would kill a lot of people because people don't want to let go of where they are getting their money. But how many people do they kill? You can't kill the whole country. Every
Exactly.
leader that is appointed, you can't keep killing them. They'll have to be uprooted. If everybody knows that, and this is why I'm saying it has to start with these people who wamekula pesa. Wacha waende prison. Wacha we show example that actually they can go to prison, so that the next people that come in, they don't want to go to prison. They will do what they need to do.
That's why we want to elect a good president, not a joker.
And
Can I tell you guys one thing? Can I share with you my theory?
Tell us.
And I will stick to this theory until I die because I believe in it. It's the only way Kenya can be saved. By the time even Morara or Matiangi or Omtata navigates the Kenyan political landscape and gets to the presidency and gets sworn in as the president, the way the Kenyan politics plays, he will be entangled and compromised and will owe so many people so many favors that it becomes impossible to fight corruption because those people who have entangled him and compromised him and he owes favors are the ones doing those corrupt deals. Why? Because they are the people who will invest in his campaign with the hopes that when he gets there, they will get government tenders to get their money back.
Exactly.
So my theory is that anyone who gets elected into the presidency in Kenya can never change Kenya. The person that I know can change Kenya is two people. One, say for example, the current scenario of our executive. If the president, God forbid, and I hope this is not treasonable, if the president currently now dies, okay, the deputy president will automatically become president.
Yes.
If this current deputy president really wants to change Kenya, he is the one who can strike down the hammer and say enough is enough. And he can successfully do so. Why? He owes no one anything. No one got him into that position except for the president selecting him. He can actually take people to jail and no one will cry. If you go crying to him, he tells you, boss, you had a deal with the former president. Please look for him. Me, I owe you nothing. I have no deal with you. You did what you did. Please deal with the law. Don't talk to me. I have nothing to do with that. If the persons that can change Kenya is if a deputy president gets it to be a president by way of the president die, that's one person. The second person that can save Kenya is somebody, God forbid, who takes presidency by force, one way or another, and says, you know what, I want to change Kenya. I'm going for this, I'm fighting for it, I'm going to get, and he gets there and he says, kama umeshaiba, I'm coming for you. Anza kukimbia mapema, I'm coming. Because somebody who takes leadership like that owes nobody nothing. Don't be cheated that anyone, I don't care whether his name is Matiangi or Kebaso or Umtata or who. By the time you navigate the Kenyan political landscape and become a president, you owe so many people, you've been compromised by so many people, you are entangled in so many issues, and those are the people who will come to perpetrate grand corruption in your government because they feel entitled, and you know it because you owe them. They put you there. That is my theory. Until those two types of people I've mentioned gets into presidency, it's going to be very difficult changing Kenya.
I think the difference, and your theory can hold water and could hold water, but I also think we also need to be having a system in place of transparency. So if anybody in the UK gives a party money for what do they call it, campaign, it's open, it's actually open knowledge. Does that make sense? So it's not,
Yes.
everything is written, or they're accountable, so everybody knows who the donors for the each party is. And I think this is where we probably have not reached that level of transparency and accountability. So it is not wrong to invest in a party if you believe in that party. It is not wrong to support a candidate and support them financially if you're believing in their cause. But can the general public know that I have donated my 10 million towards your campaign? A lot of these things, we never get to know. And we have people end up having a lot of godfathers, like you say. But I think even if I was to support Murara or whoever is going to be the next president financially, I think they also need to say, in our books, these are the people who have funded our campaign, so that every Kenyan can know. Betty from UK supported with her 10 million. So and so supported with this and so with this. So it may well be that you don't need to blackmail me by telling me I gave you 10 million. Where's my tender? Because everybody knows. But I think now people fund this and they don't tell people, and it's almost like a small kitchen cabinet. Few people know, and that is why they're able to blackmail you. But even if I was to give you that tender, is it in the open market, and is your price the best? People need to know that you won the tender because you're supplying the best items. Yeah.
You see, it doesn't start, grand corruption doesn't start at the tendering process. Tendering process is the sanitization process. Tendering process starts at initiation of a project. You see, let me give you for example the Adani project, or the Shah things. Somebody approached the powers that be, right? Maybe and including the president, and told them, hey, you see, if we did this and this and this and this and this and this and this, we can make XYZ amount of money. But for us to do this, this is what we need to do, right? So those guys actually go to government, and tell them how to start. A lot of times, even these guys structure the tender documents, right? By the time it's being tendered, the bidder is the person who designed the tender document. So it's not that they give money and then they go and tell them, oh, you see, this tender is out, give me this tender. No. By the time the tender is out, the winner is the person who designed is the initiator of the project, and is probably the designer of the tender documents, and the wins and goes with it. Now, what you're saying is very right, Betsy. That is what we need to do. Absolutely, I agree with you. But do you think that a sitting president would be the one to start that? Somebody who has already been entangled in that situation. Do you think he would be the best placed person to say, now we want to start having transparency in lobbyists and the funding for campaigns? Do you think they would do that? My answer is probably they won't.
The country needs to, there's a lot of things that need to be put in place, and we can't put everything in place maybe this sitting, and maybe not this next 5 years. But if we start knowing that they do need to be put in place and start strategizing towards it, we have hope. So even if this time we're not able to do that, and we can progress on just the basics, that people are having a roof over their head, they are having 3 square meals a day, they are able to find work, I think that president will have done a lot, and we can elect them for the next thing, and then we can look at the next projects. But at the minute, we're so far down. Survival is almost, is what people need. They just need to make sure munakula, watoto wanasoma. And even right now, even the change of that education, I don't even understand why fix something that was not broken. What is this that we're going to now standard 9 or standard 8 and 9? And why change the system? Where is you getting the money to build the classrooms? You can't even put food on the table. These children are not eaten by the time you start telling them you're building them a classroom. Does it even make sense? The teachers aren't well paid, but you're increasing the curriculum they have to teach. And the curriculum is not even set out. So some of these things is poor governance, because if you're going to change a national curriculum, it doesn't start at the top. They could have started from standard 5 and say, in 4 years' time, we will start this properly. But for now, this is what we're trying to build the schools, we're trying to build the classrooms, we're trying to change and install it 4 years down. But I think they're doing it in such a way that next year or it's next year or this year, everybody's meant to be starting the curriculum. How is this possible? So zingine, you listen to these people and you think, what planet are they on? How do they even open their mouth and say this? The chief shaft thing is, if I was to be elected president, that would be the first thing I'd get rid of. And I would ask for my money back. You can always get a refund in this country. So if something is said, you're sold something that is not good, you go back to the owner and say, you missold me. Can I have my money back? So if they've paid for this shift shaft thing, they really need to get some money back. It's not working, and people are dying. It's very sad.
Wow, you guys, we have done almost 2 hours of this particular show, and I think we have come to a conclusion that we are far away from having a country. Maybe Dominic, can you give us your closing remarks? Everybody seems to be asleep. Melala, for sure. Apart from Betsy and Jeremy. You guys, we have done almost
3 hours.
3 hours of this particular program, but I can see guys on the comment section. Let me read for you a few comments that are coming from the people on the comment section. Kenya Revolutionary is saying Matiang'i is a criminal. You glorify criminals, and you wonder why you wonder why we are where we are as a country. Yes, I think we have tried to address this. He's talking about Matiang'i being a criminal. Kenya Revolutionary also says that Morara is a circus. Come on stage and tell us about this. And we have this guy, Robert Mburugu. Hi guys, let me expose these secrets to you. Our country is under demonic siege. Just look up at the word Shah in the dictionary. Oh yeah. We'll look it now. We'll look it up and see what that really means. Now, Betty, I want to thank you very much for coming to the show this evening. Make Afrique 24 your home, where we can have these political discussions most of the time. And if you don't mind, you can share your email on the comment section or your number, so that when we have these particular shows, we can send you the direct link so that you can be part of the discussion if you're free. So most of the time we have these discussions, and these discussions are important, that we get together, see where our country is and where we are going. It has been a nice evening meeting Dominic for the first time, Jeremy, we share a group together, and also my homeboy. Very, very informative discussion. He took us through the AAU, the position of Baba in the OAU, and he has told us categorically that Baba has already lost that seat to the Djibouti guy. So this we need to do a lot of civic education to our people. And remember, the social platform is where most Kenyans are. They are either on TikTok or they are on YouTube or Facebook. So this information, we make sure that it reaches out to most of them, especially the topics that people have made that are so important. We will edit them, send them back to you, and you will see them across social platforms, because that is what informs the discussion in all the platforms. Otherwise, guys, I want you guys to give me like your closing remarks on this particular evening. I know it's late in Kenya or wherever you are. Give me your closing remarks, and then let me start with Dominic. Dominic.
Hey, thanks so much, my brother Msarendo. Jeremy Omondi, this is my first time to meet you here.
Oh, okay.
Nasema ni asante sana kwa ile mjadala tumeongea. Na ile mambo yote Jeremy ametufunza kuhusu AU, hata mimi sikuwa najua. Sasa nimeunderstand kidogo. Exactly.
It was what
nimeunderstand kidogo. Asante sana. I think sasa hii ndio civic education poa sana. I think we will be meeting here. Tunaambiana machache. Asante sana, nimeshukuru.
Yeah, Dominic,
Yes.
Mondi, closing remarks.
Mine, the Zalendo, thank you for putting this together, and the rest of the team. I think moving forward, I don't know, you've done this before, Ama, this is the first one umefanya leo.
Oh my God.
We have been doing it. Tumekuwa
This thing
tukifanya.
has been here for over a year.
Exactly.
Since we have been.
Me, I'm just seeing it today. For the first time.
You're seeing it. Oh my God! Sometimes I post the link there.
Yeah, I think it's a great platform. I think it's a great platform. Regularize it, moderate it vizuri, weka agenda vizuri. Today we are discussing 1-2 items hivyo, discussiwe exhaustively. If possible, invite watu wa government au bring them on here to a question kama wananchi. If you have access to some of these leaders like Akode and NATO and Kaluma and those guys.
Kaluma,
yes, Mele.
Kaluma is in our group. We will invite
bring them. Not Akode, Akode the socialite. I mean Akode Mele.
I know. You know, people don't know why we call Mele Akode. Mele Mabona, our home girl.
Yeah.
We will invite her here.
Unless
forum. Yeah.
Yeah, people like that. So you just bring them and you just curate the conversation, and we also have talked to them, and we ask them a few questions, they answer, that type of thing. Other than that, I think it's a good session. Sasa nimejua wekanga link kwa group so that I'll be joining. I'll make an effort to be a regular moving forward.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. And let me tell you, the knowledge you gave us on AUC and many other topics that was raised today, it's not only us in the panel that were watching. This channel is watched with over 100,000 people, viewers worldwide. So they were really impacted by the information. And apart from this, this channel is also linked to our other channels like Mtembei. So whatever you say here does not only remain in Africa, it goes to other platforms that people can get the knowledge and information that they need. So it is important that people coming into this channel, they also subscribe to Africa. So when you go to your YouTube, just make sure that you have subscribed to Africa so that when we have these shows, you are notified that there is a show going on Africa. And it is free. You don't have to pay any money for subscription. Just subscribe to Africa and you'll be notified. Yeah, you'll be notified of the shows. Otherwise, thank you guys very much for being part of this discussion. I hope to see you again later in the evening as we analyze, because this politics, we have not even gone to what Ruto had gone to do in Nyanza, the kind of goodies that he gave the people of Nyanza. We will also be moving into the counties to see what the governors are doing in the counties. Otherwise, thank you very much. I leave you with this commercial for Raila Odinga. Until tomorrow.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sote wana